Hey YouTube, it's your girl Yona Marie, and today I want to go over some tips to help you write lyrics and melody lines to beats. Yona Marie music, create with me. So just to give you a little bit of information about me, I am a session singer, writer, and producer. So what that means is I do a lot of musical projects from my home studio. I work on a lot of jingles, I work on a lot of podcast intros, I do a lot of features for rappers, I do a lot of singing and songwriting for EDM producers, I do a lot of collaborations with jazz musicians, classical musicians, a whole lot of variety in my musical repertoire. And I just want to share a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way when it comes to writing to instrumentation and beats that are already made. Now sometimes, especially when it comes to creative projects that are my own, I come up with lyrics first. I come up with melodies in my head first. And I write that down maybe in my songwriting journal. I'll record the melody on my phone, voice recorder, or if I'm already in my studio, I'll just lay it down in my DAW. A lot of songwriters will say that this is their preferred way of coming up with songs when it comes to lyrics first, when it comes to the melody first, and then building the instrumentation and the beat around your lyrics and melody. But especially in the world of pop, dance, EDM, R&B, hip hop, a lot of times beats are already made. Instrumentation is already floating around. And what songwriters have to do is come up with lyrics and melody on their own or with a team of songwriters. Now this is a relatively new thing in the world of music. I mean, when you think about music before the age of digital technology, we didn't have beats made. We didn't have these beats made with MIDI instruments or recordings done easily of live instrumentation. Songs were made on the fly with a guitar, with a piano, sometimes with just singing and clapping. So this whole method of writing songs and melodies to a beat that's already given to you is pretty new in the world of music as a whole. So I just want you to know I'm saying all of this not to discredit this method of songwriting. I actually love this method of songwriting, and I love the creative freedom that producers now have when it comes to mixing live instruments with new forms of instrumentation, new effects that they can use with their DAWs. I love where music is going in the digital age, but it can be overwhelming when you try to buckle down and get back to the basics of songwriting with all of these advanced instrumentation ideas going on. Like, how do you still write lyrical and melodic magic with all of these new capabilities in the instrumentation thanks to tech? So let me give you a few step-by-step tips to help you get started in this process if it's seeming overwhelming to you. First things first, this is assuming that you have the beat ready and you just don't know where to start when it comes to writing the magic. So find the mood of the beat. See what the mood is telling you based on the song. See what the mood is telling you based on the tempo. See what it's telling you based on the key. Is it a major key? Is it minor? Is it giving you a little bit of both? Is it giving you classic techno? Is it giving you some very bluesy soul with a guitar? Is it giving you Japanese culture with cool wind instruments? See what ideas the beat itself can be trying to tell you. What energy is giving you? And base your ideas off the energy you're getting. Now, you might be getting a few different energies. Like, if it's an upbeat song, it might be giving you dance in the club vibes. It might be giving you falling in love for a new time vibes. It might be giving you rebellious vibes, acting crazy in the club vibes. Now see what matches with your style of songwriting and the energy of the music at the same time. And get creative with it. Like, let's say your beat is very upbeat, but you want to actually flip it and give it some very sad song lyrics to make it more ironic. See where the mood takes you. Step 2 is to identify the song structure. Now this is especially important if the beat is by a producer that can't make the edits for you depending on what you need. Let's say the song has verses that are 8 bars, but you want verses that are 16 bars. Now if you know the producer well, they may be able to edit the song for you. Or if it's a beat that you can actually put in your DAW and edit it a bit without it taking away from the quality of the song, you can mix and match some sections of the song according to your liking. So most beats do have very obvious switches between, let's say, the intro and the verse and the chorus. But some beats don't, especially in the hip hop world. You might get a beat, especially if it's heavily sampled, to give you like 90s flow. You might get a beat that's the same throughout, and it might be up to your songwriting alone and not the instrumentation to show the difference between, let's say, the verse and the chorus and the bridge. And if you like to songwrite right in your DAW, like if you have Pro Tools or GarageBand, etc., I recommend using the arrangement tools to actually label which part is which when it comes to the beat to make it simple when you're trying to write. So after you know your song mood and your song structure, then you can start working on your song. So some people like to do lyrics first and some people like to do melody first. But me personally, I would suggest that you do melody first, because you can get melodic ideas pretty easily by going through the song and doing like a sort of gibberish thing. I got this idea from Ron Leslie's gibberish video. Just go through the song and just kind of go through gibberish with different melodic ideas and see where higher notes could fit well. See, especially in the bridge section to the climax of the song, how high you want to go. Just start playing around with different melodic ideas first. And just a few pointers. So if you have a beat that has a lot going on melodically, I would say keep your songwriting simple. Sometimes it really clashes if you're trying to do a lot melodically and the beat is doing a lot melodically. If you're not doing the same thing as the beat, it seems like it's busy. So if your song's doing a lot melodically already, keep it simple, keep it pop, keep it on 1 to 3 notes, especially in your verses, and let the beat steal the show like it's already doing. Now, on the flip side, if your beat's really basic, that gives you the opportunity to go crazy melodically, do your own thing, because you're the one responsible for making the biggest melodical ideas on the song. And some advice for the rappers: just because you're not doing something melodically per se, doesn't mean you don't have to think about the song structure and how you want your energy to flow. Like, of course, you're not gonna be rapping monotone most likely, so you still wanna figure out how you want to make your energy flow throughout the verses and throughout the choruses, where you want to get a little bit more high-pitched and more energetic, where you want to calm it down, and see what matches with the instrumentation that way. So step 4, again, you can switch these depending on your liking, but I like to do lyrics after I've added melodic ideas. And so again, you want to make sure you're keeping the song's mood in mind. So that's another reason I like to do the melodics first, because the beat itself can tell a story, and then I'll match the story with my melodic ideas in the verses and choruses. And then last, the lyrics will almost come automatically, because it's like I'm telling the story with the melody, and the lyrics will just easily flow with it. If I did it in reverse, sometimes I'll have lyrics that are really good with the beat, but then a melody that really can't match with the lyrical flow. So step 4, you can switch these again if you like, but I like to do the lyrics after the melody. And it's basically, like I said, just following what the melody is telling you. By the time you have some melodic ideas, you already have some loose lyrical ideas in your head as well, thanks to the melody line. It should be pretty easy to start filling that in with your lyrical content ideas. So when you already have the melody set out, it'll be way easier to follow a rhyming scheme of your choice. You might want to do AABB or ABAB. And because of the melody and the emphasis on the words you might be able to put out are already there, it'll be easier to kind of fill in with a storyline. Now, this is where it can get really tricky, especially for people that like to write songs lyric first before music is even coming out, because they say they want their songs core to be based off the lyrical ideas, to be based off the passion behind those lyrical ideas. It can seem super backwards and maybe a little bit insincere to put lyrics last in this process. If you have that problem, don't worry, you can have that opinion if you want to. But a lot of times, songwriters have no choice but to write to instrumentation that's already made. So start getting the idea for how you want your rhyming scheme to go. And make sure you don't make it too regular, too poppy, too generalized, because you still want to play around with wordplay, maybe some metaphors if you want, depending on the theme of the song, of course. But you don't want to go too basic, and you don't want to speed through the lyrical process just because it's towards the end of your song process. You still want to put a lot of thought into it and make sure you're giving it enough emotional depth too. So the last choice is just adding embellishments, background vocals, intro and outro ad-libs. It can just be putting the whole idea together. Harmonies you may have already thought up when you were thinking about melodic ideas. And really just start to put those in and see where things will naturally fit depending on the energy of the song. This is also where you can see if maybe a feature would make sense, maybe having somebody else come and do some background vocals for you to add some tonal color to the song that it may need. But you might not need backing vocals or harmonies at all. Some songs work really well just basic one lead vocal, and that's all. So thank you for tuning into my tips. And if you're looking for more tips, check out my site at YonaMarieMusic.com and subscribe to my newsletter. And subscribe to my channel here if this video was helpful to you. I'll see you in the next video.